Guys, how you doing? Today we're going to talk about safeties and outside linebackers, understanding leverage and alley, and what those terms are. But there's also involved just a little bit of inside linebacker play. So if you play inside linebacker, you're going to pay attention to this, and that'll lead us to our next video, which is all about you. But just know, we're going to start to use these terms, and we've used these terms before, but I wanted to just define them in a very, very basic way. But we have a leverage and an alley player, and we need to make leverage and alley calls based on offensive formation. And we need to assign the two safeties and the two outside linebackers leverage and alley before the ball snap. Okay, so we're going to kind of go over that today. Those will be our two rules that we understand today. First off, leverage means you're the edge player or you're the containment player, meaning nothing gets outside of you. If you are technically the alley player, this is a new gap that's created by the offensive play that you need to fill. And that is your gap, and you need to make that tackle. So today we're just going to go over Mount Baker's basic offensive formation. It's a very, very just basic 21 set, meaning two eligibles, wide out tight end to one side, and then just one eligible on the other side. So I'll draw up our defense, our two linebackers based on what we talked about the other day in our last video as far as how to line up. We won't review that right now. And then our two safeties, how they line up. And again, I won't go over that because that was covered in the safety video. So that's how our two outside linebackers and two safeties will line up in Mount Baker's basic offensive formation. Okay, so leverage and alley. I'm going to draw up a basic play for you to look at to create some understanding of what these two things mean. So let's pretend in this case that we're going to run a running play to the weak side, and this offensive player is going to block the Willie linebacker, and he's going to block him out towards the out of bounds. This offensive tackle is going to block down, and here is going to be the ball carrier. Okay, so now the Willie is the leverage player, meaning if this ball carrier were to come to the weak side, he cannot let this player get and bounce to the outside. Now, that being said, there is an alley between this offensive player blocking out and this offensive tackle blocking down. This alley is what this free safety will come downhill and thus tackle the ball carrier in the alley. Okay, so that's a very, very basic way of describing leverage and alley. But what sets up really good defenses to even great defenses is understanding that alley might change from time to time. Let's take now an offensive play to the strong side. And let's do the same concept. Tight end blocks down, and all these guys are blocking, D ends and Mike backers and everything else in between. But let's go ahead and let's leave this guard available. He did not block down. This guard pulled and blocked out. So there's your leverage player. Okay, there's your containment player. So now let's just again, we'll give him the football. If the ball carrier is looking to get outside, this Sam backer cannot let him get outside of it. Okay. Now this alley is created between the down block of the tight end and the kick out block by the guard. So here's your alley for the strong safety to come. Now, one thing that again separates good defenses from great defenses is this concept right here. Is when this Sam backer, knows that he's going to get kicked out, and this, whether it be a running back or whether it be a guard or whether it be somebody coming to kick him out and block him towards the sideline, we cannot just keep screaming straight up the field, because then this alley gets too big for this strong safety to tackle, usually the opponent's best athlete in their entire high school. So what we want to do is we want to squeeze this alley down. So if this person notices somebody coming to kick him out and block him towards the out of bounds, we now want to come down and make that alley as small as possible. Now, as that Sam and Will could make that alley as small as possible, these safeties are coming downhill. Now, if the back chooses to bounce outside of the Sam because Sam goes too far inside, then the safety needs to realize that, and now the alley is out here. Okay, so those two things, alleys can change, but that's really, really important. There are two unique situations here. 22 set, two receivers